skills. Please welcome the president of the University of Central Oklahoma, Dr. Don Betz.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. This has been an illuminating day already. Welcome on the hottest day of the year and the hottest hour of the day to hear some extraordinary colleagues and friends here welcome you. We're so pleased to have you here. And I have to tell you that, Kiki, I probably didn't even have to get up here after you finished. You really encapsulated, along with John and Myron and the rest, the reason why we're here. But I want to tell you how much I appreciate you coming today and seeing your faces. I think I saw many of you this last week. How many of you were in any of the Forge programs? Raise your hand. Great stuff. Well, I had a chance to participate in 3 of those on each morning, and I had a chance, some of you had your parents there. It was a wonderful experience for me to see them and to see you there at that time. Welcome to the University of Central Oklahoma. This is the first time we have held, in the recent era, a freshman entering student convocation. It's an academic exercise. It has a particular intent. The idea is to welcome you officially to an institution that has 124 years of history, of service and excellence, an institution which stretches back over parts of 3 centuries. Beginning in the early 1890s and up till today, you can see that the institution has been here for a long, long time. But we're pleased, very pleased that you're here today. And we're also pleased that you decided to seek the next part of your preparation for your life, your degree here at the University of Central Oklahoma. Now listen to this list: John Adams, Ida Belt, Fronia Eckes, Robert Howard, and Rose Jackson. I can tell you that none of them are in the house today. They were the first 5 graduates of the Territorial Normal School of Oklahoma, which is where you are right now. In 1890, this institution was founded as a place for people to learn to become teachers. Why? Because this territory, which was not yet a state, was trying to figure out how to perpetuate and sustain itself. And what we all realize is that you can't really develop a society unless you have a commitment to values and to knowledge and to the future. And if you've walked around the campus, and I think some of you processed today through the arch, the Gateway Arch, by what we call affectionately Old North, that is the original Territorial Normal School. It was the very first public building erected in Oklahoma for the purpose of higher education. Why did they bother? Why didn't they just swoop in, pick up what they could find, live in a tent, and leave? Why did they take the time on this barren plain to erect a cathedral to learning? Why would those women and men work so hard to fire the bricks locally and to carry them manually and to build this edifice that now is still standing and will soon reopen? Why would they do that? Because they had nothing better to do? Because they're getting paid for it? They did it because they believed that you might come along. They did it not for their own kids, but probably for their kids' kids' kids. Not for the people that they knew, but the people that they will never know their name. They did it for the reasons that many of us and you will pursue your goals and objectives. You do it to plant the seeds for the future. And today, you sitting here, 124 years later, honor their memory. Those first 5 graduates, those men and women that physically built this place, and the vision that said that education is absolutely essential if you're going to build a place called Oklahoma. Now today in our state, we have about 24% of our population that have a college degree. That's below the national average. And across the world, as I told you earlier, only 8% of the world holds a baccalaureate degree. You are on a quest to become part of a very distinct group that we believe, and statistics tell us, can change and shape the future. We talk often here at the university about being the change. One of the ways you do that is prepare yourself for those changes. And one of the ways you do that is to actually pursue a baccalaureate degree and a college education. And that's what you're doing. Not at the Territorial Normal School, not at at Central State College, not at Central State's Teachers College. It's the University of Central Oklahoma, which has morphed all through those periods of its history to become what you have today. 17,000 students will join you tomorrow on this campus. This institution, in terms of size, in the top 6% in the country. When we are evaluated nationally, we're evaluated as a large institution. But we have a very specialized approach here. I think you might have found it echoed in my colleagues' comments, and the people you met this week, and the people you'll meet tomorrow and through the week, whether they be this incredible faculty, some of whom are here with us today, our staff, or the rest. We have a very interesting perspective here, and that is we are here for your success. There's no free lunch here. There's no easy walkthrough. This is not a snap. This is not a rollover. This is an opportunity to engage yourself in a chance to prepare yourself for your future. And what a collection of factors have come together to make this possible. The place, the history, the people, the commitment, the vision, and you. You're the key ingredient. 4 years from now, 5 years from now, when you're sitting down here in a cap and gown, you know who's going to be in those rafters? Your parents, grandma, uncle, sister, aunt. They're all going to be here because you're going to graduate and they're going to bask in the glory of your accomplishment. They're going to see that moment not just as your moment, but theirs. That dream they harbored deep inside of them when you were 5 years old and you showed a particular proclivity to do something better than someone else. When you walked onto the field, whatever the field was, and you had more heart and cared more. When you were artistic or musically inclined, when you were a great speaker, a great thinker, a great person, they could see that developing in the recesses of your personality when you were 3 and 4 and 5 and 10 and 12. For you, it's your life. For them, it's a whole segment of why they showed up on the planet. And when you cross this stage, and when I'm standing here handing you your diploma, it's a singular moment in your life, but please share it, because it is a moment in time in theirs. Every one of us that have sent our children to school, to college, no matter if we've been in universities our whole life, there is nothing like the moment when your child graduates from college. You make that happen, not just for them, but for so many other people, for your city, for your tribe, for your county, for your state, and for you. You may have come here in order to learn something to get a job. Good. We want you to come here to learn to get a life, a full life, a rich life. We want you to be, as our mission says, to be productive and creative and ethical and engaged citizens and leaders. That's what it's about. You'll have to mull these things over for yourself. You have to figure this out for yourself because each one of you has your own pathway. But lucky for you, you came to an institution that lives and breathes a combination of outstanding talent and outstanding compassion. The two together are dynamite. What it basically means is you're going to be challenged as you've never been challenged before by people who care what happens to you. And fight the tendency to run to the parking lot, get in your car or truck, and go home. Because it gets a little tough, a little challenging. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe I don't have what it takes. There are literally hundreds of people on this campus, starting with the president right on through, that show up every day for one reason, for your success. Not to hand you a diploma, but for you to earn a college education. We are here for you, and we will demonstrate that. We will walk this talk. And when we stub our toe, when there are differences, you will see how we handle those challenges. But you have a responsibility as well. You have a responsibility for yourself. And what about the young man or woman sitting next to you or 3 or 4 rows in front of you? The one right now is thinking, gee, maybe I can't cut it. Maybe I'm a little bit under the challenge. Perhaps this is not for me. When you see those concerns or even fear in someone else's eyes, what do you do? What do you do? If you saw it in your brother or sister's eye, your best friend's eye, you step in, you step up, you make a difference. What's up? Can I help? If you're bright in one area and someone else has challenges, you become one of those great mentors, because peer mentorship is alive and well on this campus. We want you to graduate, but we want you to have not just the diploma, but to gather together the sum and substance of what this incredible faculty has to offer you. The knowledge, the insights, the perspective, the capabilities, the talents you don't even know that lie half dormant within inside of you right now. things you think that you want to do but are afraid to tell people because you really want to develop sort of why nobody's watching, this faculty and staff will create the environment that elicits that to have you step it out. Give it a try. It's okay. We've all failed. We've all stubbed our toe. We've all had those moments. But you know, thanks to people like this faculty and staff, we've also had what you're going to have, what Provost Barthel was talking about, those transformative moments, what we call the aha moments. I never knew that. I never thought that idea before. I never believed I could do this. So, you've heard some of the good advice already on how you might succeed. The first is obviously show up, right? You don't show up, forget it. Yogi Berra, somebody who don't even know, told us a long time ago that 90% of success is showing up. So you got to show up. You got to get involved because the data tells us you will persist if you get involved. You got to perfect your skills. You got to communicate well. If you're not a good writer, a good reader, a good speaker, or a good listener, stick that on a piece of paper and put it in your pocket. And tell yourself, by the time you walk out of here, by the time you walk across this stage, and I hand you your diploma, you will be able and capable and amazing in the areas of communication, because the only way anyone's going to know anything about you is when you communicate. You can have the biggest heart in the world, but they have to know it. And you can do it by your actions, by your words, by your thoughts. So this communication is important. Kiki said earlier, find your passion. What does that mean? It means that there's something that you love to do or things you'll learn to love to do. You know what? Then it doesn't become work. It becomes your life. I have friends of mine in their passion professions that say, I don't even know how many hours are passing. Do you know you work 12 hours today? So? But when you're not doing what you want to do, when it's drudgery, an hour seems like a day. Find that passion. But passion alone won't make it. It won't. What do you need? You need passion, you need talent, and you need what Malcolm Gladwell in his book, The Outliers, tells us. You need the 10,000 hours. What did he mean? He means that when he went out and talked to athletes and artists and opera singers and actors, and they said, okay, what are the keys to success? Every one of them says, if you won't devote 10,000 hours to perfecting your talent, to your art, you are not truly successful. In fact, they said, that's the minimum. What they're talking about is this nearly unquantifiable factor called persistence. Persistence. Winston Churchill said, never, 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 and he actually said never that many times, give up. It means that when it seems like it's dark, you take one more step. When it seems like you're kind of to the end, seek help. It means when you're on the verge of learning something that's really going to be exciting, that's a time not to go to sleep. That's a time to get together with your fellow students and flesh it out. I cannot stress. If you said to me, I'm the most intelligent person in the world and I have no persistence, you're not going to succeed here. If you tell me that I have good intelligence and I have a heart and the mind to persist, I have the will to succeed, you'll not only succeed at the University of Central Oklahoma, you will have a pathway of success in your life. Persistence, write it down, put it in front of your mirror, do something. It's absolutely significant, and share it with one another. Don't let this piece go away. Now, in 1560s, in a place called Oxford in England, Keyes College began a tradition which always has inspired me. It's the tradition of what new students do. When they walk into the institution, they have to pass through 3 gates. Actually, they have to pass through a first gate and a second gate and a third gate. The first gate is the gate of humility. And let's say if you were part of the group today and you walked through Gateway Arch at Old North and you walked onto the campus, this is the gateway of humility, which is basically saying, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn. Throughout their life at Keyes College, from 1560 to the present, they next pass through the gate of virtue, which is known as the gate of knowledge leading to wisdom. So all through their 3, 4, 5 years, they're passing through this gate as they go to class, as they study, as they work with their colleagues. And when and if they graduate, they have the honor, and only the first time in their 4 years, to pass through the gate of honor. Because they have acted honorably, because they have persisted, and because they have, in fact, created an outcome that's going to be with them for the rest of your life. No matter what you do after you leave here, this will be part of your personal record. I am John Smith, and I am a graduate of the University of Central Oklahoma with a baccalaureate or a master's degree in a variety of subjects that you can choose. Well, we are here today to welcome you into our academic community. The soul of that community is our faculty, and all the rest of us are here to support that faculty to prepare you for a life of meaning and purpose. Tomorrow the classes begin. We hope you're ready. But I can tell you one thing, starting from myself, through my colleagues, faculty, there's one incontrovertible fact, and that is simply this: we believe in you. We believe you can do this. We are here to help, to cajole, to encourage, to teach, and occasionally, believe it or not, inspire you. Look forward to seeing you at the picnic. Have a wonderful start. Thank you very much.